my name. And I am here tonight with the lovely, the talented Ms. Jo Fallak.
Hello, folks.
And my very good friend, Mr. Chris Viseau.
Hey, thanks for having me.
And we are here tonight to present to you a special one-shot based on the horror comic book / film called 30 Days of Night. That's right. This is a wonderful scene-setting horror story that takes place in the far north of Alaska in a town called Barrow. But more on that in a second. If you're watching this, thank you. Please like the video, just because that's a thing to do. This will be an 18-plus show. It's going to be lots of swearing and lots of no-no words, such as... Joe?
Anus.
Anus? Anus will come up many times. The vampires love anuses. Also, this is a stream for Extra Life. That's right. We are doing Extra Life once again this year. November 7th is game day. We'll be streaming for 24 hours straight. A series of video games, RPGs, and a Hot Ones challenge. That's right. Once again, for the third year in a row. Fourth year in a row. Fourth year in a row? Fourth year in a row.
2017, 2018, 2019, 2020.
Fourth year.
This is me coming to you, hat in hand.
Oh, yeah, sorry. Let me put the camera on you there. Hat in hand.
Hat in hand.
She want your money. Yeah, this is the fourth year in a row that we're going to be doing the Hot Ones challenge, where we eat 10 of the spiciest chicken wings. I got new sauces this year too, Chris, so get excited.
Oh, like hotter sauces or more mild because you know my sphincter
New,
still hurts.
more
both.
anus-defying.
Hotter.
I should have said that, because that was the word of the day. I don't know why I didn't say that.
Anus!
Anus is the word of the day. No, but we're going to do 10 spicy chicken wings all lined up, live streaming for you on top of all that. So, wow. It's going to be tough. But if you are... It's not going to be tough. What is that? That was such bullshit acting. Well, it's going to be tough. No, it's not. It's great. It's fun. It's going to be a good time. So if you are able to, please donate to our Extra Life campaign. The link is in the description of this video. If it's not, figure it out. Just go to Extra Life and Google the INVICTUS stream. That's a way to find us. For the past 4 years, we have raised over $1,000 each year, including over $5,000 the first year. So we are hoping to meet the same goals. I think we were at $380 as of last time I checked, which is already amazing. Yeah, round of applause to y'all. And this is in support of sick kids' hospitals. So again, the need is great. The cause is also great. And we would really appreciate your support and your help. So please consider donating. The remainder of the streams throughout this month, this next month, and up until November 7th will be dedicated to Extra Life. So if you are not able to today, then stop making excuses. No, come back next week because I will be begging for more.
Start mowing lawns. Start walking dogs. Start doing dishes for your parents.
Get it.
Get those loonies and toonies.
Do it.
Look inside your couch. There's got to be something there.
There's
That's
something at the
right.
bottom. We don't want none of that popcorn, though. So yes, Extra Life is really important. If you are not a fan or not aware, Dice Shame comes out again tomorrow. However, it is episode 50. This is the Icewind Dale special that we did for a D&D celebration. You might have heard it before, but please check it out anyway. We have a new intro, so you can hear us celebrate 50 episodes. But of course, DiceShamePodcast.com is our D&D actual play podcast. It's a lot of fun. And
These big numbers. 50 episodes, 4 years of this. Oh my goodness, you guys are
crazy.
just so cool.
Hey, you're cool, Mr. Chris Viseau. You are part of this through
In
and through.
January, you guys will have been doing Invictus for 7 years.
7.
Things have changed in 7 years.
Yeah.
I mean, I have like this
A
growth
beard.
on my shoulder. Oh,
Yeah.
look at that, yeah.
Got to get it checked out. No, it has been. We're at $410 as of now. Jessica has just announced. So
That's amazing.
Thank you.
Thank you, everybody.
let's see if we can get to 500 tonight, and I'll flash you my winning smile. I said my winning smile. I said it. Technically.
You almost got me.
Tonight we'll be using the End of the World rules set, which is a RPG book from Fantasy Flight Games. It's very simple. You've seen it many times before. We roll d6s, competitive, blah, 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 blah. Shall we get to the game?
Let's do it.
Let's do it. This is, of course, based on 30 Days of Night. So if you haven't seen it, go check it out. It's a wonderful comic book by IDW Publishing and Steve Niles, who kindly retweeted us. So, Steve, if you're watching, we love your work. Hope you enjoy this. Ladies and gentlemen, without further ado, 30 Days of Night. The small town of Barrow, Alaska, has seen its fair share of darkness. After all, every year, for an entire month, the sun does not shine here. Most people, the ones fortunate enough, able to, leave to seek warmer weather. This isn't the case for everyone, of course, especially those who serve and protect the few residents of Barrow. Those who stay through the long dark know what moves beyond the trees. They know not to shy away from the darkness, for there are worse things to fear during 30 days of night. Chris, you are the sheriff of this small town, and Joe, its deputy. Chris, tell us a little bit about Wesley Longview.
Wesley Longview is a kind, friendly person in town. He's a slight, tall figure. He's sometimes absent-minded and daydreams a little bit, but everyone finds it a little bit charming. He was not originally from Barrow. He actually came from Anchorage, and he went off to university to pursue police foundations before actually coming up here. And some people at first did not like the fact that he became the sheriff. People thought, well, this educated person just gets the job right away. But over time, they realized that he was really part of the community, and they grew to respect him as not just someone who came and took the job but earned it. So he's earned the trust and built really strong relationships with the community up here in Barrow.
Nice. Currently, Wesley, you drive your wife, Paula, to the last plane leaving. The darkness has already come. It's been maybe about 3 hours since you know the sun will not rise again for another 30 days. And as you and Paula drive towards the last plane, there's an awkward silence between the two of you. She sort of looks out the window at the passing snow. Looks like might be a blizzard. You can be okay getting back?
I'm fiddling with my watch. She's driving the car. She likes to drive because I make her sick the way I drive. So she asked if she could drive the vehicle on the way out there. I think my watch isn't working. Really, we're going to depend on this in the next...
Wes, did you hear what I said? There's a blizzard coming.
Yeah.
Are you going to be okay getting back?
Yeah, I'll be fine. Thank you. Are you sure you have to go?
Yes, I have to go. Yes.
I know the 30 days is long, but I got that new full spectrum light and stuff.
Wes, it's not about the light. It's not about any of that. I just think right now I need to be somewhere surrounded by family. After my mother,
I'm going to miss you for this. Anyways, yeah, I'll be fine. Watch the road. Just be careful. It's going to be slick.
Yeah. And she sort of shakes her head and looks out the window. She drives to the tarmac, the plane waiting, the people boarding, and she turns off the car and sort of slumps back and turns to you. Take care of yourself, okay? The darkness, it's not just take care of yourself.
You know me. I can always see the bright side of any situation, even 30 days of night. And I reach over and I kiss her.
And she kisses you too and sort of purses her lips and exits the car. She takes a few steps and stops, and turns around and says, I love you.
I love you too, Paula. It's going to fly by this month, and I'll see you soon enough, and then we can celebrate the sun coming back.
Right. And she sort of cracks a half smile and turns around and continues towards the plane.
I reach
Joe.
for my coffee to drive away.
Yeah.
And I think I see her ring in there. It's not a wedding ring. It's one that I just gave her recently. And I wonder to myself, did she forget it? Or did she leave it there?
But
Take a
she's
drink
too
of my
far
coffee
away.
and I turn the car.
Yeah. Perfect. Awesome. Yeah, exactly. Joe, tell us about Allison Mercury. She sits currently in the portable that is the office of the police in Barrow. She sits alone at her desk. What does she look like?
Allison Mercury is an early 50s woman. Her hair is graying at the temples. She keeps it short. It's kind of curly. She's got a pair of glasses that look about 20 years out of date. And she's like turning paperwork over on her desk kind of idly. Honestly, not much goes on in Barrow. Not much that she doesn't know about anyway. She looks around the office. She hears the clock ticking on the wall. And she decides to brew some coffee. So she stands up, crosses the room. She's short. She's maybe 5'4". And she gets out and she opens the like stiff drawer of the cabinet on which the old percolator is sitting. She measures out a couple tablespoons of dry, stale grounds, just throws them in, puts a couple more in for good measure, then dumps a big pot of water in there, turns it on, goes back and sits at the desk, puts her feet up for a minute.
And as you sit back down on the worn, padded chair behind your desk, the darkness outside has already begun to run its spindly fingers up the back of your neck. You shake your head, weary with sleep, despite it being 11 a.m. You watch the steam begin to climb up from the percolating coffee across the room. You walk over and pour yourself your first cup as your attention is pulled to the crackle of the walkie-talkie lying on your desk, snapping you out of the daze. Captain, Allison, you guys there? Both you and Wesley, sitting in your car, hear the radio.
Yeah, Roger, I'm here.
I walk over to my walkie-talkie. You got Allison.
You hear the young voice of your newest recruit to the force, Officer Owen Evans. In his shaky voice, he says, guys, Dale Perkins has some trouble over at his place. Can you guys help me out a little? And you hear the hesitancy in his voice. Owen is a young officer. He is still very far to go in the realm of learning the ropes. And he sort of takes a second and says, it's just property damage, but he's asking a lot of questions I can't answer. Can you guys meet me here?
Yeah, Owen, you hang on. We'll be there in a bit. Guys, back at the shop, you guys have the hot chocolate ready? I want to bring it by the school later. You know how I like to bring some on the first day of the darkness for them.
Yeah, the box is here by the door. Do you want me to throw it in the truck?
No, well, let's do this Del Perkins thing first, and then maybe we'll make sure we'll do that after. Meet you over there.
Yeah, no problem. Hey, Owen.
Yeah.
You sure you need both of us here?
Yeah. It just makes me feel a lot more comfortable, if that's okay.
All right. I'm getting in the truck, and I pick up a picture frame from my desk before I head out, and I just look. It's a maybe 10 years younger version of Allison. She's got her arms draped around two boys. They look like they're probably twins, maybe in their late teens, her sons. She just looks at the picture, sets it back down on the desk, and puts on her boots, gets out the door.
Perfect. And yeah, the two of you sort of head. The sheriff is a bit more north of the city right now, and you get into your big four-wheeler and head out into the frosty night, tucking your parka around your head, pulling it up, and as the two of you drive towards your destination, you see the first...
Thinking to myself, it's good to know Allison is going. I was thinking to myself, it's good to see Allison going, because she's kind of, she tends to be staying behind the desk more and more. So I'm actually kind of glad that Owen has encouraged her to come along, because Allison used to be in the field every single day, and now it seems less and less she wants to leave.
Yeah, actually, I get that idea too. Like, she's a little bit older, more comfortable with being in the office, less likely to want to go out into the field. And as the two of you head towards your destination, you pass the first falling thick white flakes of what might be a blizzard. The two of you arrive separately, but roughly at the same time. to see the young recruit, Evans, bundled up in his red winter parka. His brown hair is covered by a worn green toque, and he approaches the cars quickly. I feel like maybe Allison, you were waiting for the sheriff, kind of hoping for a reason not to get out just yet.
Oh, yeah.
And as the sheriff pulls up, and the three of you sort of converge together, he sort of blows into his hands. Thanks, guys. He's being a real fucking tool. You know Owens to be one not to really curse, and he sort of says it as if he's mouthing the word almost. But I don't know what to tell him.
I reach into the back of my truck and I grab some big elk skin caribou gloves and I hand them to Owen. Owen, make sure you got your gear when you go out, okay?
Right, thanks. And he puts them on. You know Dale Perkins well. He owns the town's snowmobile rental business. The only one really in town. He has the monopoly through and through. And as you approach the small trailer that his office works out of, you can hear him yelling from the inside. Owen sort of leads you the way. You pass all the newly snow-covered snowmobiles, and Owen sort of takes a few steps ahead and then stops. He's just won't stop yelling. And like I said, he's asking me all these stupid questions. I don't know what to say. I don't want to put my foot in my mouth like last time, you know, Allison.
Does he smell whiskey? Owen, did you get close enough?
No. I mean, I didn't get close enough, but I don't think he smells.
Dale's not much of a drinker there. So
Well, you know, with the darkness coming, some people lean that way a little bit.
Maybe. What was the problem there?
Well, he called in. Apparently someone has sabotaged all of his snowmobiles. And he turns around and sort of waves a hand and turns back to you with wide eyes.
No shit.
Yeah, all of them.
Well, here's what I think, Owen. It could be that you're new to the force. You know, it seems to be Allison has rapport with Dale. So maybe, Allison, you want to lead the way on this one?
Yeah, if that's okay with you, Sheriff.
Please.
All right. Knock on the door of the trailer.
Yeah.
As she walks up to do that, I'm just going to take a look at the snowmobiles and see what kind of, if I can glean what broke them. Like,
Yeah, why don't you give me a logic roll? Good old RPG, eh? Remember those?
Let's roll some dice, boys.
What we're doing here?
Is that what this is?
All right. So I think I roll the amount that I have in logic, right? It's been a while.
So you roll one die for the ability, and then you would roll negative die that I assign you. So there's no negative die for this. Do you have any features?
And I have to try to get under it, right?
Yeah, so do you have any features that would aid you in sort of trying to...
I gave myself the feature that I'm in my own world sometimes, so I think I can tune things out a little bit, and I can focus in on things, even if it means to the detriment of conversations and other people around me.
So there's like a positive and a negative feature.
Well,
I'm gonna say no. I'm gonna say no because I feel like if you had any sort of mechanic thing, it would work. I think you're hyper focused on it, but you still would need to know if you have just the know-how. So why don't you give me a logic roll straight up and down 1d6? If you roll under your logic, then you see what you see.
So just one die.
One die.
One die. The good old. Here we
First
go.
death of the night.
And dead. No, I have a 2 in logic, so.
So no,
which is
you take a look. You know you can suss out that this is a snowmobile, but beyond that, you sort of draw a blank. And as you knock on the door, Allison, you hear the yelling just sort of persist. And Owen sort of looks at you and says, "He's not going to answer. He's too wrapped up in his own shit right now. Just go in. He doesn't mind."
So yeah, Allison checks the doorknob. It's unlocked, and she opens it.
Yeah, and what you see is a small office. There are pictures on the wall of the latest snowmobile dated 1985. There's cabinets sort of strewn about, 2 comfortable chairs for prospective renters and buyers, and a short, bald man sweating profusely through his shirt yelling at a phone. And he's saying, "Well, you better fucking cover it because that's what I fucking pay you for." And he slams his phone down and he says, "Tell me some good news, Allison."
Morning, Dale.
Morning to you too. This little pissant, you calling him a cop? And Owen like sort of goes to say something and then just sort of puts his finger down.
Well, we'll see about that. He's been doing so far so good, Dale. First week on the job, and I'm sure you remember what it was like to be a rookie in your business too. all those years ago. Now just cut him a bit of slack and we'll figure out what's going on around here, all right?
Why don't you give me a social roll?
Okay. I do have a positive feature in my social that I would like to use. I'm town mom.
Yeah, that's fair.
So trustworthy.
Cool. So give me 2 positive die, 2
Okay.
d6s, and see if you roll under your target number.
I hit. Oh no, because it doesn't bump my number. I just get extra dice, right?
Bingo. So
Yeah,
what's your?
I fail.
So your social's 2?
Yeah, my charisma's 2. My empathy's 3.
Empathy's
What do
2.
you want to call it?
It would be empathy probably.
Oh, well then there you go.
Because
I
you're
hit.
kind of being like, hey.
Yeah.
So yeah, you match it. So you kind of see him shake his head, and he's like, I know. But look, someone's gonna pay for this, and
Well-
this kid's telling me that what?
I'm sure you have insurance.
Well, that's who I was just fucking talking to. And he like kicks the phone off the desk, like falls on the floor. You hear the dial tone. He's like, anyway.
We brought the sheriff around. He's just checking out the machines out back. But from what I heard from Officer Evans,
The kid's like nod.
you've had some property damage. Now, did you want to tell me when you noticed this?
Well, yeah, and he like points out. Well, I came back this morning at 8 a.m. when we open up. Damn, fucking night. Couldn't even tell it was morning. But all of them. He walks over the window and like opens the slits and looks out at the sheriff, who's like leaning over the snowmobile. And he's like, all of them. The fuel lines are cut. None of them work.
Did you ever end up purchasing one of those security cameras I was telling you about?
No, and you know why? Because they don't do shit around here. Yeah, they'd be fine inside the office, but the minute they're outside, the fucking snow would cover them, or they'd freeze and crack. They don't make them for our climate.
All I've been telling
Allison.
you is that you can't complain about coyotes if you don't get a security.
You think a fucking coyote cut my fuel line?
Absolutely not, but we wouldn't be having this conversation if you didn't listen to me now, Dale. All right, so you came in 8 a.m., found the fuel lines cut. Any other piece of information that you think might be pertinent? Anything else that you notice around 8? Anyone skulking around?
He sort of like huffs. Sheriff, at this time, are you still walking around? Or are you joining inside?
No, I'd like to go through the door, and the bell rings as I enter.
Yeah.
And I kind of just smile at Dell, and I smile, nod my head, and I see Allison's taking care of things. So I walk around and I take a look at the other people who are in there shopping.
Oh, there's no one in there. This is like tiny.
It's like a rental office?
It's like a rental office, yeah.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
So then I go over and I just look at some of the things that are posted on the wall.
Yeah, you see like a
Dell.
calendar from like 2 years ago, you know.
Is that the new Polaris out there? I saw the new machine there. I hope that one didn't get wrecked too, did it?
Give me a straight up and down empathy roll, social roll, charisma
Okay.
roll. Sorry, let's do charisma. I kind of want to see this guy. I think could either love or hate you. We'll leave it to chance
All right, let's do it.
because it kind of be fun to like him be like, fucking sheriff.
All right, so my charisma is not bad, but it matched it. So what does that mean?
Yeah, you're good. So you succeed. So yeah, he likes you. Not necessarily any different or more than Allison, but he's kind of like, yeah, that's the Polaris. It was new last year, and if you want to buy one, I probably could. I mean, the fuel lines.
Not on the sheriff's salary, Dell. You know that.
Yeah, well,
The Yamaha's still running, anyways. Dell, what do you think? Who did this? What's going on?
yeah. So was Allison saying, and he kind of looks at Allison again. It's probably that fucking pissed off kid, Pedro, that oil kid. Whatever his name is.
What makes you think that, Dale? Apart from the fact that you don't like him.
Well, he's a no good, Nick.
What was this guy's name again?
This is Dale.
No.
Pedro.
Pedro, the oil kid?
Yeah, he's one of the. So there's that there is a oil drilling site, a large company that use it, and this boy. He's a really good kid, and his name is Pedro Parker. He's just a younger oil worker.
Just because he's no good, Nick, doesn't mean that he's necessarily responsible for...
Listen, and he like sits forward and taps his desk. He says he came in here trying to rent one of them, and I told him no because he's always wrecking things at the drill site, so I'm told, and didn't want to risk it. And he get all bent of shape.
When was this?
I don't know, maybe 3 weeks ago.
You think he waited till today?
I don't know.
No,
Maybe.
it doesn't seem likely. Now, you let us do the police work, okay? We'll figure out who's responsible for all this. If you have any more hunches, please let us know.
Well, there was that one weirdo here. What's that guy's name? The one up by the thing. Jenkins. That guy. And you know this name immediately. Jenkins is sort of an odd duck. He is one of the only longtime locals besides Allison. He's been around here for maybe 20 years since the town started. He's some kind of teacher, you think, but he lives a bit away from town, maybe about 15 minutes from here. You've been there before, you know, especially as the sheriff doing your locals, and Allison, you know the name. You've seen him in town buying supplies and things like that, but you never had an extended conversation with the guy. And as Dale is sort of snapping his fingers, he says, you know, he came in here the other week asking a bunch of weird questions. Just about the security of the place, hours we had, things like that.
And then he left.
Yeah, well, I knew he wasn't going to buy anything. I figured he was maybe just trying to bring a friend, wanted to rent something, but...
So, okay, do you remember specifics of the questions? Anything in particular?
Well, he asked if I had enough security, but not in like a threatening way. He said it like he was
like worried about you.
Yeah, I guess kind of like friendly like, but I don't know, just something about it seemed weird.
And when was this again?
Well, this was only about a week ago, so. Well, not even that long ago. Maybe about 3 days, right before the dark came. Oh.
Huh.
Asking weird questions about your security and the hours that you're open?
Yeah, but you know how people do it around here, Allison. Especially as a long timer, you know they don't do it like they're probing anything. They're just asking, you know.
No, of course. Well, we'll have to go up and swing on by. Maybe we'll have a conversation with him.
Yeah.
Dale, you have any money stolen, or just the damage to your snow machines?
Well, and as he begins to talk, Allison, you hear a crackle on your radio, and it's Daisy, one of the other officers. She's just, Allison, are you there?
Yeah, Daisy. I'm here, over.
Do you step outside?
Yeah. Well, I mean, the sheriff's got a radio too, though.
Yeah, but she's just calling you.
Yeah. I'll step outside.
So you step outside, and he kind of goes to answer your question. As you step outside, Daisy's just like, come in. You there, Allison?
Yep, go ahead.
Hey, Allie, we just got a call from Buchanan. He says he found something that you might be interested in, some sort of campsite, apparently. No
shit. Busy morning.
You know Buchanan. He's sort of a local hunter. He's actually been hired also by the oil company to stave off any wolves that might try to fight. So he sort of just circles the woods around the sites and protects them when they can.
You said Buchanan found a campsite?
Yeah, he wants to show you. He says he'll meet you back at the station. Do you want me to tell him you're okay?
Yeah, is he heading there right now?
Yeah.
Tell him to give me 10 minutes.
All right. Sheriff, he kind of sits forward. He says, no money was taken, no nothing. The door was still locked. I tells you, all the fuel lines were cut. I can fix them, but it's going to take. I mean, in this climate, God, they're done for the month. They're done for the... And he, like, hits a pile of papers off his desk, realizing
Dale, I want you to settle down. And I reach into the desk and I pull out his heart medication and put it on the counter. And I say, Dale, you need to calm down. You know that me and Allison will look after this.
Yeah, well, you better.
We will. So just calm down, and I'm sure the insurance is going to come through and everything's going to work out. But you need to just chill out. You know how edgy we can get in the darkness.
Yeah.
So you're going to be here all day? Can I contact you if I find out anything?
Yeah, I'm going to try to do it one at a time, I guess. I'll warm them up.
Well,
do the whole fuel
run. If we don't get back to you tonight, make sure you lock the doors on your way out, okay?
Yeah. He sort of rolls his eyes and leans back.
Allison comes back in. She's like, listen, Sheriff, we got something else that we have to attend to just outside of town. Dale, once you figure out the extent of the damages, give us a ring and let us know so that we can file it in the report.
All right.
And we'll let you know if we need you for anything else.
But you're going to check that Jenkins guy, right? And he kind of points to the sheriff, and like Owen stands next to him. He's like, Well, yeah, we'll do it, right, Sheriff? We'll go right now. He's only about 15 minutes away.
We'll figure this out, okay?
All right, well, you do that.
All right, I leave the door and I say, Owens, just outside. Owens, I want to make sure that you're coming back and checking on this. Pedro, I don't think it's a strong lead, but maybe you should just go find out what Pedro was up to last night and don't accuse him of anything, Owens, because he's innocent. I just want to make sure that we cover all our leads. Me and Allison, we'll go check on another lead. You said.
Well, listen. I think maybe we got enough work to do for the both of us this morning. And she takes a long sip out of her travel mug. So, I just got a call from Daisy. Officer Adams is talking about Buchanan. He found a strange campsite somewhere nearby, asked me to meet him down at the office. So, I'm going to swing by there. Why don't you go and check on Jenkins in the meantime? Maybe we can get this figured out before lunchtime.
All right. Allison, you got your sidearm with you?
Of course I do.
All right, just making sure.
If it's all the same with you, Sheriff, I wouldn't mind coming with you to Jenkins. I can do Pedro after, but I haven't been up there, and frankly, I'd like to introduce myself.
Yeah, that's not a bad idea, Owens. Okay, but I'll have you know Jenkins is a little bit of an odd duck. Okay, so take it easy, go slow.
I'll take your lead, 100%.
All right, and then we'll swing back and meet back after. We'll stop in and talk to Pedro if we got time. Okay, Allison?
Yeah.
Yeah, I'll send you a holler when I'm done, and we'll see who wins.
Worst case scenario, we'll meet you at the station, okay, Allison?
Yeah, you boys keep warm now.
No, but you can tell he feels awkward about calling you Allison. Like, he's grown up calling you Mrs. So-and-so, you know? And now he's like, yeah, of course, Allison, we'll meet you there. All right, let's go. And the three of you sort of head towards your separate places.
On my way to the car, do I see any weird tracks in the snow?
Why don't you give me a little roly-poly?
Smarty pants.
Let's just see if there's any... To tell you the truth, I was looking for vehicular tracks, but anything out of the ordinary.
What do you get?
I'm doing so well. So well. I got a 6.
Oh, boy.
But I feel like I should get an extra die.
Why?
I just feel that way. Let's see here.
Sure, go for it. It's a good argument.
That's
good
all
argument.
it's gonna take.
Good argument.
Thank you. Oh my goodness.
Well, that's
now
what
it's
you
a
get.
9. No, just kidding. Another 6.
9. If I stand on my head, it's a 9.
Right. I don't see any weird tracks, but yeah, whatever. So I don't see any weird tracks. And
then Owen gets...
yeah, that's nothing. I wish I could see them, but I can't see anything.
Owen
so
gets in.
dark
It's
out.
dark. Yeah, your eyes haven't fully adjusted yet.
It's nighttime.
Owen gets into the passenger seat of the cruiser.
Can I get Owen? Owen, can you turn the lights on real quick? Allison, can you see? Can we do that as an advantage?
Sure. I mean, no, you already rolled and failed, actually. So
all right,
you can't
that's
keep
fair.
rolling it.
Allison's driving away. She's like, what? Bye.
Bye.
Bye. Good luck with everything.
Owen gets into the passenger seat and he's like, all right, cool. And he starts blowing his hands. Thanks again for the gloves. And you head off towards the Jenkins place. Like I said, it's about a 15-minute drive. And as the two of you, the deputy and the sheriff, had your distinct directions, those thick flakes continue to fall small. Sylvester Buchanan is a local hunter, Allison. He's hired to keep the wolves away from the oil company, like I said. And as you arrive back at the station, you meet him. He's standing out front smoking a cigarette. He's got thick glasses and a checkered coat. In his backpack, he keeps typically a whiteout suit, and he has his rifle slung over his shoulder. He drops it and stomps it as he sees you exit the car. Oh, hey. How's it going, Allison?
Hey, Sil.
Just out and about?
Slams the car door and walks over, holding the thermos of coffee as always. Yeah, well, Officer Adams told me I should come and have a chat with you. What'd you find?
Best show you. You got your snowshoes?
Oh, yeah, in the back somewhere. Hold on a second.
Yeah, you
She
better
goes
grab
and
'em.
rifles around, and then she grabs them. They're nice. They're like a light fiberglass number. She's had them for a couple years, but they're still in pretty good shape. She straps them on and tests them out a little bit. All right, where are we going?
Well, you don't need them now. He just he bends down and lifts your foot and unclips them and throws them in the back of his truck.
Why didn't you say so?
Well, you did it real quick. Oh. And he kind of walks over and opens the car door for you and welcomes you into his red pickup.
Oh, he wants me to go with him?
Yeah, he's going to show you what he's got to show you.
I mean, yeah, why not?
And he throws his rifle in the back and gets in, and the two of you
Cool.
begin driving off.
Sounds good.
Sheriff and Owens, you guys are driving through the thick storm up north, more north of the city than you're used to. You head towards the Jenkins place. Again, you've been here maybe once before, and as you arrive, it's completely dark. There's no lights on outside. The drive is, of course, covered with snow. It sort of sits upon a outlook towards a valley that just covers plains of ice and sleet. There's nothing save a few copses of trees down. And from your knowledge, he's not so much a teacher, but a researcher of some sort. Though you've never really maintained much of a relationship with him, you try to stick to the people that you can help and that live in town because it just doesn't make sense in such a desolate place. The two of you hop out of the car and begin approaching the portable-like home he has. There's a tall silver iron tower next to it with sort of a light that typically blinks. At least it was the last time you were there, but now you don't really see anything. The portables maybe 3 or 4 sort of attached together that have a makeshift home sitting on small stilts just off the ground. And as you approach, Owen pulls out the flashlight from his backpack and turns it on. Oh, sorry. And he kind of snuffs the light. Do you not want me to? I know you say that during the long nights it's better to just let your eyes adjust.
Yeah, Owen, let's leave the light for if we're looking for anything in particular, okay?
No, of course. And he just kind of puts it in his pocket.
Still finicking without my watch. Like, this thing's supposed to stay good even in cold temp. It's going to be hard to tell time. All right, obviously. All right, I walk over to the up to the portable.
Yeah.
Remember, Owen, I'm leading the way, okay?
Right.
Knock.
Follow your lead 100%. And you knock, a hollow knock. It rings out, but you hear nothing inside.
What do I see on the outside? So any of the is he a geologist? What is he?
You take a look around and you see nothing. This seems like less of a home and more of a research base of sorts. It is plain, simple portables. There are no windows. There's snow blowing up against the side. You know he lives here, but it does not look like a home of any sort that you've seen.
And do I see any tracks going in and out of the door recently from the snow?
No.
No. And you said it's around, what time is it now?
Right now, it's probably around noon. 12?
Okay. Jenkins! It's Sheriff Wesley. Longview, are you in there? Knock again.
Nothing. You see Owen standing next to you, sort of nervously looks towards you.
Well, it's not bad. I call back to, the department. Does anyone have, can you guys get me the phone number for Jenkins, the researcher? I'm at his place. It seems very quiet out here. I just want to make sure everything's okay. Can you give me a phone number? Give us a call in there.
Few minutes go by.
Is there anyone in the office?
No. You hear a response from the last person on your force, Officer Armando Rodriguez. He responds. He says, "No, I don't think anyone's there, Sheriff. I'm out helping with Courtney and her dogs. But sorry, I tried calling a few minutes ago too. I think Daisy must have stepped out."
I would probably page in too. I'd be like, "Hey, Sheriff, I'm just here with Sil. I'm taking a ride with him out back. Just to let you know, I'm not at my car."
All right, thanks a lot, Allison. I just put my hand on the doorknob and I just give it a little, see if it's open.
Yeah, and it's unlocked. It swings open.
Jenkins, just checking in on you, and then I can see Owen's nervous look because entering, I go, I care about the people in this town, Owen. You got to know that. So sometimes I'm going to be doing things that aren't quite by the book.
No, of course, Sheriff. You got to make sure that people are, especially this time of year.
Okay, as long
And
as
he
you're
sort
feeling
of-
okay with it.
His eyes sort of fall to the woods surrounding the portable. Just sort of studies the trees for a second, and then he looks back
Owen,
to you.
you see something?
No, of course not. Just,
Well,
you know.
you holler if you say anything, okay?
Oh, I promise I will. You'll be hearing more than a holler. He sort of turns around and steps inside.
Is it dark on the inside? I check. Is the light on the inside?
The light does not work, and it is dark on the inside. You see a simple couch, some glass cabinetry. You see a kitchen table. It sort of is an L shape. The entire building is a bit of a U shape. This is the living room. You see there's a jacket hung, boots sitting on
Is it warm
a
in there?
mat. No, it's not as cold as outside, but the heat has been off for a while, you can tell.
And the smell, anything in particular? at
No,
first?
nothing to your nostrils, but you can tell that Owens is sort of nervous looking around. Should I turn on
Without
the
saying anything
flashlight
to
now?
Owen, I turn on my flashlight.
Yeah, and he's like, yeah, and he turns it on as well. And your flashlight sort of dance over this vacant room.
So like you said, this is his research kind of headquarters, but does he live here? Do I get that?
Yes, yeah, this is definitely where he lives. It just doesn't look like a home. On the inside it does, but the outside does not, I should state.
It's Officer Longview, and I'm making my way in. I got my one hand ready at the gun.
Yeah.
Although, it's just out of habit. I don't actually believe there's anything going on in here. Jenkins. And I walk around, and let's see. I want to go straight to where I think he would sleep, I guess. Looking at the tables as they go by. And
Yeah, you turn the corner and you see basically between these two portables, so there's three, it's sort of in a U shape, is the kitchen in this middle section. You pass the table, this sort of linoleum tiled floor, and as you continue through to the bedroom.
The table's fine, and there's no food on the table or anything. It looks like he left in a hurry or anything.
No, it doesn't look like that. In fact, you hear Owens call from the other room, "Sheriff, his boots are dry, and they're here."
Well, that means he's here. No one go out in this weather without any boots on. Jenkins.
Yeah, I think Oh, never mind. I thought I heard something.
What do you think you hear?
Nah, I think it's outside, and you hear the door shut. Must have been some. I don't know. And he kind of heads up towards you. You see Owen standing behind you, and as the two of you turn the last corner towards the bedroom, you see a very simple bed, a cot in the corner. But in the center of the room, you see a hatch leading down. There are bricks stacked on either side of the hatch, sort of closing the space between the open air and the room below, and you feel the cold permafrost coming from the ground below. But it looks like the ladder leading down is a steel ladder. This is definitely an extension of this place.
Did I know that this was... Like, have I ever been in this building?
No, you've never been in this building, and this would be very odd.
Huh. I opened it up and I called out, Jenkins, you down there?
Your voice rings out. Joe, or I should say Allison, you are driving along in the sidecar of Sylvester's truck. Every once in a while, you sort of catch him glancing over at you, and he sort of snaps his eyes back to the road. He's this older, you see the gray sort of silver hair of his messy sort of hockey haircut sort of poking out between his knitted cap, and but he tries to keep his eyes on the road as much as possible. And
I feel like Allison's making some small talk, like chipping away at the barrier between them. She's like, "So, what's the wolf population like this season?"
Not very big, if I can do anything about it. Like awkwardly laughs, like very clearly kind of has a bit of a crush on you.
Not used to really interacting with people.
No, and like as you go to sort of bring up something, he interrupts you and he's like, "Oh, right here." And he pulls into Marnie's place, a place that you know pretty well. She lives in a series of small townhouses on the outskirts of town. And you know it's specifically her place because you actually see her leaning outside her house, bundled up in a parka, smoking a cigarette. And as the two of you get out of the red pickup, she just says, "Hi, hey, Allison, where y'all heading to?"
Oh, just gonna check something out. Those things are gonna kill you, Marnie.
"Yeah, well, what else?" And she takes a drag, and Sylvester sort of pays her no mind, and he puts his snowshoes on sort of expecting you to do the same. As closest we can get to it.
Yeah, all right. So I pull him out.
Yeah.
Strap him on.
And you start hiking through the cold, dark woods, climbing a snow-covered hill. You can see every once in a while Sylvester sort of looks back, expecting that he might need to help you, but you don't need any help. His eyes, sort of with a coy smile, he turns back around, knowing that you're a capable woman.
I want to make it clear my snowsuit is like very 80s.
Yeah, for sure. Yeah. What's more is that it's 80s, but it's also like the police brand 80s.
Yeah.
So you have like the proper, insignia and stuff, which I should say that, the sheriff does too. Owens is the only one in sort of his own homemade stuff,
but like Wesley's snowsuit is
the
like
new one.
navy blue. Yeah. It's like more modern
like
cut, where Allison's got like a brown and gold kind of number.
Yeah, exactly. And
you definitely look more local than I do, like function over fashion.
That's right.
Yeah, exactly.
It's warm as hell though.
And as you sort of round the bend, you come out this clearing on the top of a hill, which actually overlooks the town. You see the dotting twinkle lights of the small town of Barrow. You see the power plant. You see everything that sort of is your home for 20 years. And Sylvester sort of just, Allison, over here.
Sure looks nice from up here.
Yeah. And he walks you just a little bit back, and he sort of moves back a series of branches, and you see a small campsite. He sort of gestures to it. I wanted to show you this.
I click on my flashlight just for a little extra detail, and I'd like to look around the area. Again, going to check for some footprints. Let's see how fresh this campsite is.
For sure, yeah.
See if I can find any pertinent details before we actually get up on what this campsite looks like. I don't really have anything that
we'll call logic.
Sure. Yeah, great. So I'm just gonna roll 1.
Yep.
No, I fail.
You take a look at the ground, but the freshly fallen snow obscures any tracks you can see. As Sylvester meets your eyes, he kind of says, "There's more." Sheriff and Owens, you stand over this hatch, and Owens turns to you and he's like, "Do you want me to go down first?"
Owen, here's what I'm thinking. Owen, I think once we get down there, our radios are not going to work. So one of us is going to need to stay up here. One of us is going to need to go down there. Now, how long you been working for me now?
It's my first week.
So on my first week, I don't think it would sound very good if I lost someone in their first week. So
Lost? What do you mean lost someone?
Just joking with you, Owen, and I pat him on the arm. I'm going to go down, okay? And if you hear me holler, you call in the radio right away, okay?
Right, of course, yeah.
Okay, and I check my radio. Owen?
Yeah, great. Yeah.
All right, you okay?
Yeah, doing great.
You look a little nervous.
No, it's good. I'll shine the light down. He like shines the light down for you.
Oh, it's right in my eye. Okay, wait till I'm on the ladder.
Sorry. Yeah.
And I start making my way down the ladder.
Rung by rung, you hear your wet boots squeak at the metal rungs. And as you reach the bottom, you feel sort of... And he's like, Sheriff!
Owen, I'm fine, just teasing.
And as you turn around, you see the feet of a corpse hanging from the rafters. Why don't you give me a social roll? Give me a straight up and down charisma roll for a second.
Just to actually see if I yell?
Yeah, because I think it'd be so fucking funny if you're like, oh, and then you turn around and then you actually scream.
I failed.
Yeah, so you actually scream.
Ah!
And Owen again, just like, Sheriff.
Owen, I need you to call in the radio, please.
Okay. And he calls
in the code for a body.
Yeah, and you see as you bring your light up that this is the body of Jenkins, hung himself from the rafter in this basement.
Without his boots, no socks.
No, in fact, he's dressed warmly. He looks as if he was dressed down for the night. And you hear Owen sort of walking around, his boots ahead, sort of little bits of dust falling as he walks back. You hear his voice, calling in 4226. And as your light sort of flashes past him, you see down here a very different sight than above, almost like a research station. There's a small cot. It's a very small single room, but the objects here are very different. Some of them ornate, some of them scientific, some of them more... It's difficult for you to place, but they don't seem maybe spiritual almost.
Being that it's a small town, we don't really have the forensics forces that we would have. I immediately put my gloves on.
Yeah.
And I walk around Jenkins. I look at his face. Does he have an expression?
It's pretty serene, and he looks very fresh, like it's been only a few days.
And it looks like he's got nothing on his person, just dressed.
No, dressed very specifically to sort of have nothing on his person as well.
And what's he hung with? A rope or a...
a rope, yeah.
Okay, and the knots. Does it look like he took the time to tie these knots?
Yes. Everything about this leads you to suicide. And as your eyes are sort of looking around, you see on a desk, almost empty, there are some notes written on top.
All right, well, as I make my way around Jenkins' body and I go towards the desk, I'll take a look at the notes.
And the one on top, you see, it's almost like a diary. There's pages and pages beneath, but the top ones are written in a much more quickly done hand. And it says, "They're coming back. I can feel it. It's not like in the movies. It's not like how they want us to think. It's like a virus. A bite, sure. A scratch, though. Or just touching the blood will do it. The head is the only way I've seen it work, lopping it clean off. Beyond that, I've seen a grenade go off on one of their bodies and it walked away like nothing but a tickle. Their strength, their speed, they can see better, smell more, hear everything. But it's less in the cold. It's tougher on them, I think." Owen's voice sort of interrupts your reading. There's still more to it, but he's just like, "Sheriff, yeah, I called. There's no one answering right now, but I put the call into the others so they know." And you hear this, Allison, as you're walking, your radio cracks and you hear this dead body call. Sylvester sort of turns his head towards you, like confused.
Just a second, Syl. And I take a couple steps away, turn my back to him. Sheriff, everything okay?
Yeah, I'm up a couple of rungs, and I'm looking up at Owen. I'm saying, "Owen, you stay up there, okay? Allison, we got... can you turn your radio to channel 6, please?"
And I do. Click.
And I describe what I see to her. I want to save Owen a little bit, and this is kind of the channel me and Allison go to sometimes when we want to talk.
Yeah.
Allison, Jenkins has hung himself down here in the basement. I didn't realize there was it seems to be like a bunker, almost like a... I don't know if he's doing research. There's some really odd materials in here, things I didn't see. And I described to her what I read in the journal. Before I do, though, I'm like, "Are you away from Buchanan? Can he hear you?"
He's close enough, but he's not really the eavesdropping type.
So I describe everything there, and I say, he's either out of his mind or afraid of something, or I don't know.
Well, we sure know that he's not responsible for Dale Perkins' damage.
And Allison, as you're talking, Sylvester is sort of, you're walking over this campsite and he's sort of showing you, he's like lifting it up, sort of miming what he wanted to show you. There's nothing too important. You just sort of see this snow-covered tent. It's sort of haphazardly put together. The weight of the snow has now pushed it over. And, Sylvester's sort of like...
Does it look like it's decent quality equipment?
No, not really.
It's kind of shabby.
Yeah, and he sort of waves for your attention.
Just a second, Sheriff. I'll be right back with you. Hold on a second.
And he just says, "I only wanted to show you because I want. It doesn't make sense. No one camps like this. There's no sign of fire. There's no food. There's nothing. There's no tracks up. There's no tracks back. Whoever was here for a long time, but ate nothing, slept on nothing."
Where'd you find this? I mean, when'd you find this?
Oh, just a few hours ago.
Very strange. But no crime as far as I can tell, so...
No. And as she's clicked away from the radio, Sheriff, you read the rest of the page in your hand. It says...
Before you do that, do I get the impression maybe he's an epidemiologist?
Epidemiologist?
No,
Thank you.
epidemiologist. No, not necessarily. This seems more like faux scientific. Like somebody stumbled upon something and then did everything in their power to try to quantify it, but
But
without
they're
any
not actually
serious
a
training.
scientist.
Not taking the scientific method, they're trying to prove it.
Yeah, exactly. And you read, that's the only way to explain Darla. She was right near one, but the cold, it mutes their senses just a bit. They're coming. I know they're coming. They've told me they're coming. We can't fight them this time. We can't win. They tried to erase what happened, but they're back. And as the words finish and you go to reach your walkie-talkie, Allison, you turn around from the campsite to overlook the town, and you're about to press the button when you notice something. The lights of the town begin to go out. One by one, the little dots in the town you grew up in begin to vanish. And suddenly, the valley below you is cast in complete and utter darkness. And we're going to pause there for a second for a mid-game post because I want to talk about Extra Life.
I'm spooked.
That's right, ladies and gentlemen. This is, of course, 30 Days of Night, the RPG. We are doing this for a few different reasons. One, because it's awesome. But another one because Extra Life is coming up. Extra Life is the charity that we are supporting this year. On November 7th, we're going to be streaming for 24 hours. We're going to be doing the Hot Ones Challenge where we eat 10 really spicy chicken wings. And if you would like to support us in doing so and help us reach our goal of $1,000 for Sick Kids Hospitals, please consider donating to us. The link is in the description of this video. If you are watching this, and you aren't chatting with us, come join the Discord. The Discord is the place that I'm reading everybody's kind words, funny memes, and so on and so forth, as well as where the link is, if it's not in the description, because honestly, I can't remember if I put it there. So please consider donating. It's an important cause and one that we very much want to ensure gets the proper light at this time and place. Obviously, there's a lot of stuff going on in the world, but Sick Kids is something that is affecting all of the things that are going on in this world right now, and we want to make sure that it gets the proper stuff. Chris, why are you calling me? Chris?
Chris dropped the call.
Are you there?
On Discord.
Oh, you dropped the call on Discord. Let me call you back. Hold on.
Now he's no longer on Zoom.
Okay, so here we go. So this is perfect. Hey, it was perfect timing too. Let me just ring him. Hey, buddy. You came back.
I clicked the button.
Welcome home.
It was a good timing to do so. Like better than you're the most like.
I know, right? I don't know why I was clicking things.
Extra Life to help Chris figure out his problem. No, I'm just kidding.
How to use a computer.
But yes, please consider donating to us. Like I said, the link is in the description. It is also in our Discord. And if you're enjoying this, please like the video and make sure you check out 30 Days of Night and all of the comics that Steve Niles has made.
Absolutely. We're going to have a good time
we're gonna have a great time.
Extra Life.
We're actually at $495 as of right now. So let's do another round of applause.
Yeah, that's $85 on stream tonight. Thank you for everyone who donated.
Thank you so much, guys. Sincerely, this is something that we really appreciate. It's a cause that's very important to us, and we know it's very important to you. And there's some really nice comments with these donations, so thank you, guys.
Aww.
Yeah, sweet people.
Doing it for the kids, and we appreciate you guys so much.
Doing it for the kids. All right, who's ready to ramp up this horror?
I'm so ready.
You're so ready? Good. Ladies and gentlemen.
I'm not really ready.
No.
Good, because you're fucked. Without further ado, we
Thanks,
return to 30 Days of Night. Sheriff, you hear a click on the radio, and Allison's voice is on the other side.
Sheriff, there's something very wrong.
Allison, go.
All the lights are out in town. I am here on the ledge, on the ridge with Syl. Campsite is a bust, nothing here, but I can see down into the town and everyone's generators are off.
I call into the radio. I switch my dial back to the... Allison, go back to channel 4. And I go back to channel 4. Anybody out there, we need you to check the generators, please. I'll get there as quick as I can. But if there's any... Pedro or Hernando, anyone, Daisy, can you guys get to the generators?
You hear Armando for a second. Hey, Sheriff, sorry. Yeah, I don't know. Something's going on real weird here. I'm in town, but... sir, can you please... And that's all you hear.
Daisy, do you copy?
You don't hear anything from Daisy.
All right, Allison, I think we need to get back in town. I'm going to get out of this place.
I'm already like crunch.
Yeah, for
crunch
sure.
Through the snow.
And Mr. Buchanan, the hunter, is sort of following you back down. Oh, I've never seen all the lights go out like that.
So
I climb up to the top of the hatch and I close it up.
Yeah.
And I go and grab the crowbar that I saw near the front of the door and I kind of jam it in and try to make it so it's not going to come out open easy.
Yeah, and Owens is like, what's wrong, Sheriff? What's going on?
We got to get into town. There's something going on.
Okay. And he sort of heads out front and waits for you to do whatever you're doing. Let's stay on you guys for a second. As Owens sort of walks out the front door, you hear him call to you, Sheriff!
Owen?
You head out front to join him, and you see Owens sort of with his hand out towards you. Sheriff, I did see something, and he kind of points towards the edge of the wood, and you see a figure sort of approach. It sort of lumbers a little bit.
I need you to stay right there. My name is Sheriff Longview. Identify yourself, please.
And you see Owens click on his light and shine in his face, and you see he has blood red stains on his shirt, but his head, for the most part, stays down. Owens sort of shakes his light, and then it stays still for a moment. Oh, Sheriff, I know him. He's in my brother's grade. That's Darius. Darius, are you okay? And he takes a few steps towards him.
Darius, I need you to hold your ground there. Stop coming towards us. Are
Sheriff,
you okay? Do you need help?
Sheriff, it looks like he's hurt. And
Owens,
Owens
stay where
takes
you
him.
are.
Well, give me a social
back up.
roll. Give me a whatever role you think. It's authority, obviously, but give me something. Obviously, there's no authority rule.
Okay, I got mental willpower pretty high.
Sure, let's do that.
Close my will a little bit.
Yeah, I mean it's not typical, but not everything falls into 6 categories.
Still doesn't work. So no success.
Yeah.
Yes, come on.
I'm going to give you.
Roll harder, okay?
I'm going to give you an advantage because
that's how I feel.
because you're the sheriff. You're not just trying to convince,
Nope, no good. I'm sorry.
Yeah, no. Sorry, Owen.
Really
You see Owen. You see Owen take like a half step towards this man, and he's like, "Sheriff, he's hurt. We can't tell him to stop. It's freezing out here. He doesn't have gloves on." And as he walks towards him, he sort of bends down and he's like, Darius, are you okay? And Darius's head rises, and you see his face. His teeth are like needles. His eyes are black like a shark's. And with a sickly smile, he turns towards Owen and he lunges towards him. If you would like to try to make a dexterity roll to fire or whatever you want to do, let me know.
Sure. Oh, for sure. I'm going to try to fire.
You're just going to shoot Owen.
Yeah, shoot Owen accidentally. Bam, 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 bam,
No,
bam.
I'm not. I'm going to shoot really well.
Why don't you do this? Because you can do anything in this moment. I'll give you a moment to think while I jump back to Allison, who is trudging down towards the car with Sylv. Sylvester is like, "Are you all right, Allison? Are you okay?"
Of course I'm okay still. Something's going on in town. All the power's out. And I'm not supposed to talk about open investigations, but there's been at least one death.
No, it's all right. As you head back down to the car, Sylvester's sort of fumbling for his keys and he walks towards the driver's side. You notice something in the houses. You see a body lying on the ground and a figure standing next to it.
Is it just the one shape that I see? Is there any movement anywhere else?
Right now, you can only see the one shape. One figure standing, sort of moving, and a body lying on the ground.
I pull out my flashlight, shine it at the person, and I have my hand on my pistol. Stop right there.
And you see someone spin around. You recognize this as Arlie Page, just a young guy, sort of in his mid-40s. He's sort of got a shirt open, and he's like, oh, he's got blood on both of his hands. And as you hover your light there, you see the headless body of Marnie, the woman who was smoking moments ago, lying on the ground, her head maybe 2 feet away. No, it's not what you think.
I draw my gun and I'm holding it at him. What the fuck, Arlie? What the fuck did you do?
I didn't do anything. I just came out and she was like this.
Why are you covered in blood?
You hear a gunshot go off maybe 50 feet behind you.
Sheriff, I got gunshots.
Give me a willpower roll.
All right. I fail.
Unfortunately, you hear the gunshot and your attention just turns around you. It felt too close. You spin around to see the dark pathway before you. All the lights out now, obviously. The gunshot sounds like it's very close, but when you turn around again, Arlie's run. He's running between the buildings, just bolting off towards the direction of the town.
Fuck. Sheriff, come in.
And we'll jump back to the sheriff. Sheriff, you're standing there. This man lunges towards Owen. What do you do?
I immediately reach for my gun, but I've never used it before. And so instead of actually firing, I actually chicken out and I pull out the baton, the extending baton I have.
Yeah.
And I run to just bash the guy on the back to try to get Darius to drop. Is he like a teenager size? Is it worth saying?
Yeah, sure. Yeah, he's like maybe 13, 15. Sure. So you're pretty far, and Owen is closer. So
Wait, he was in the class of our officer.
he said my younger brother.
Oh, okay.
He said he knows my younger brother.
Okay.
All right. So is that far away?
Yeah, he's like 10 feet away. Like you could lunge, but you're gonna be running and then attacking. So it's gonna be.
Okay. Well, do I have a clear shot?
Who knows? Yeah, you have I mean, he's lunging at your partner, right? So I guess it is obscure.
But as a trained officer, would I take a shot?
Depends. Do you have any features?
No,
I don't know. Would you?
Features. My character is terrible. Not made for the. He's made for like a happy-go-lucky scenario here. So
yeah.
Let's see here.
The best times.
So
We're gonna die.
Run with my hand on my gun to try to get a different vantage. And I yell, Owen! Break his grass, get away. And I'm trying to get a shot.
All right. So you just yell and
him.
move, but you don't shoot yet?
Not yet.
All right. So I'll roll for Owen to be nice, but this guy's toast. So I'm going to give... I would let Chris roll for him, but I'm guessing you probably don't want to.
No, not the way I've been rolling.
So red is going to be Owen, so I'm going to give him 1 for dodging. And that's really all he's going to get because that's just it. And I'm going to roll yellow for the possible infliction that this poor boy is going to get. This is not going to be very good for him. Yeah, so he doesn't dodge and he fails. So you move quickly, a moment of hesitancy because you wanted a clearer shot. But as you take a step through the snow and draw your pistol, you see this teenage boy, his needle-like teeth lunge out and sink into Owen's flesh. They tear deep pieces of his skin out. He chews them widely and openly as if you are no concern whatsoever. And then he pushes the boy off and turns towards you, his black eyes focused on you.
So any hesitation I had for firing is gone now. I don't feel remorse. I feel fear and rage. And I pull the gun out and I fire bang, 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 bang. As many as I can get up.
Give me a dexterity roll.
Yeah, let's do that.
An offensive dexterity. So
1, nailed it.
Nice.
Nicely done.
Yeah.
Woo.
Are you aiming?
Counts.
Are you aiming anywhere specific?
I am not. I'm trying to just do body shots. Bang, 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 bang.
Brains.
Bang, to drop them. Oh,
okay.
I'm in brains.
Too late. Yeah, fine. So you aim for the head.
Well,
yeah,
I
you
don't think
emptied.
So I don't know if officers do aim for the head, so I'm going to aim for the body. Bang, 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 bang.
Okay. You shoot this man in the body, totally uninflicted at all. He just looks down and he runs towards you. Give me a dexterity roll.
Yeah, let's do it again. So this time, aim for the heads.
Well, this time this is a dodge now because he's attacking you.
When it counts. Another one.
Oh,
Yay,
lucky boy.
Chris.
Wow, that would have been it for you. Yeah, so he lunges at you and you sort of sidestep. I'm going to give you a huge advantage and say you're like at the driver's side door and he sort of stumbles past you. However, in this moment, you see stirring from Owen. He sits up moments later as if he's perfectly fine. And he stands. And as you bring your flashlight up, you see the same needle teeth, the same black eyes. He calls out to the night and runs towards you. But he's a bit farther away, so you're at your car. So if you want to get into it, I will allow that. If you want to stay and fight, we can do that too.
No, I'm going to hop in the car. I'm going to put the keys in the ignition, and I'm going to just drive even away from them, but towards them. If they're going to be in my way, I'm going to hit them, kind of thing. So
yeah. So
wheel out of there.
So here's a cool opportunity. You can like back up, but it's like it's going to be a little slower. It's going to be an opportunity. And you might hit them as well. Hitting is irrelevant at this point, but you're going to go down the safe way. Or you see before you, if you just hit the gas, you're going to go over like a bit of a hill. It's not a death hill. It is going to be dangerous.
For sure.
It's like, but you can just gun it and like go straight. Which do you do?
Well, you know what's more interesting is taking it. Of course, I'm going over the hill.
Good. I'm giving you an advantage. Give me 2 dexterity rolls with it, or
Dexterity, let's do it.
2 die.
Yeah. I got a 1 and a 6. So the one
Nice. Okay, yeah, you succeed. So yeah, you look behind you. You see that there's like trees. You'd have to make a 3-point turn. This thing comes up and smashes the glass. It stays together, thankfully, but the stains of red sort of immediately go on your glass, and you just jam it. You go forward, like up a small hill, and then there's like air for a second before
the ring kind of floats by.
Yeah. The coffee is like in the air, the ring, and then comes crashing down, the coffee now cold on your lap. You go skidding down, you're like turning 360 down this like icy slope. Everything in the car is sort of going up and down. You're trying to hold on for dear life, and then it comes to a stop. You hear like that tss of like your car. It's still running, and you see the town, dark as ever, before you. Allison.
Yeah, man. So I take my attention away from Arlie for like a split second because I hear gunshots.
Yeah.
That's the sheriff up on the hill, I'm sure.
Yeah.
And then Arlie takes off running.
Yeah, he's like running through houses. He's just running away from the body.
Okay, well, I know this town like the back of my hand.
Yeah.
I'm gonna hop in my car
Okay.
and I'm like, Syl, get in!
And he's like, you want me to drive or?
Get in the fucking car! I'm driving for sure.
So you have to like go around because he was at the driver's side. This is his car.
No. We got back to the house, to Marnie's place, right?
Yeah, but that's where he drove you to. So like you guys met at the station and he drove you to Marnie's house and then you walked up the hill because it was just the closest place.
Drive for sure, though, Allison. Take it.
You can still do it. It's just like you're missing a beat by letting him drive or by taking the drive.
Yeah, no, I'm driving.
Okay. So yeah, you take a beat, you run around the car, you switch in, he gets in.
And I'm like, Syl, there's something dangerous in town. I don't know what's going on. Keep your hand on that gun.
Oh, all right. And he like takes his gun. Your like snowshoes are still on. You're like trying to get in the fucking car.
Oh yeah, I gotta pry off one of my snowshoes to use the pedal of the car.
Yeah, so like beats are going by for sure. But you're driving.
But yeah, so I like toss him in the back and I get in my car and get in his car and I'm tearing through town back to the station. Honestly, Arlie's a little bit of like a secondary thought in my head right now because I've never been in a situation like this before.
Oh, cool. You're just heading home. Yeah, for sure.
I'm going to like tear us back to the station.
Deal.
And I'm like keeping my eyes out peeled. It's dark as fuck though. Like beside the bouncing headlights, I really can't see much of what's going on around me.
No, but your headlights do illuminate. As you back up, you see a number of creatures standing at the tree line. They stand tall and human, save the teeth that, again, protrude long and needle-like from their gums. Their eyes are black and cold like a shark. And each of their shirts are stained with blood just below the jaw, and they watch you as you screamingly head back into town. Arlie's like, what the fuck was that? What were they? Were they
Arlie?
human?
You mean Sylvester?
What did I say?
Arlie.
Sorry, Sylvester.
I don't know what they are. Keep your eyes peeled.
And he's sort of looking around, and equally the sheriff now. Where are you driving back to the station, I'm assuming?
For sure.
Yeah, and the two of you, you both see similar things, and I'm going to narrate for both of you. As you drive through town, you see cars on fire. You hear screams and gunshots, too many to count. You try to act on one, but you hear another scream closer, and you hear another one even closer than that. And as you're driving through, you see people in the street, running from house to house, some of them seemingly trying to get away from something, others leaping through the air like animals, some scurrying across the rooftops, running down people, jumping. The sight is beyond your comprehension as you screech through the center of town towards the station. The two of you meet at the same time. Allison, able to keep her NPC alive.
Yay!
I open my door and immediately throw Allison the shotgun.
Nice.
One of the shotguns in the cruisers, and I pull the other one.
I grab it. I'm awesome.
Yeah,
I do it.
I mean, I won't make you roll for that.
I
Could you
drop the
imagine? You're like,
shotgun in a
give
snowbank.
it here. Plum, plum, plum. Sorry, can you throw it again?
You throw it in front of my car and I just drive right over it.
Yeah. This area is a little quieter for whatever reason. There's no screaming people running by. You know, it's a small town, but these are scenes that you both sort of saw collectively. So it's not warfare right now.
Sheriff, where's Owen? No time. Let's get inside.
I don't react that way. And I gesture to my neck and I say, one of them bit him. He ripped his neck open and he got back up. He's back at Jenkins' place.
It's like a fucking monster movie.
And I say, no, I think it's a virus. I think it's at Jenkins. There was something. We need to get inside. We need to get ready. We need to call to the rest of town to prepare themselves.
We have to save as many civilians as we can.
You head back. Sorry, go ahead.
Go into the police station to see what supplies we have.
Yeah, you go to enter, and immediately you see just your heart drop.
No.
The place has been destroyed. The tables are flipped. The glass door is smashed. The coffee machine is gone.
The hot chocolate.
For the kids.
Kids.
And as you enter, you hear sort of a whimpering, crying.
Adams? Is that you? Daisy?
Yeah, Sheriff? You hear this like hopeful voice from the back.
Are you hurt, Daisy? Where are you?
No, I'm in the back.
So I go towards where I hear the sound.
Yeah. Like Sylvester's like at the back, sort of with his gun, just like looking around.
Mm-hmm. I want to take a look around, see if there's anyone that's noticed where we are. Are we in any immediate danger?
Give me a logic roll,
porch.
and Sylvester's just gonna be helping you out. Sheriff, what do you do? Sorry.
Having just seen Owen get up from the bite and turn, I'm slow to go to Daisy. I'm saying, Daisy, where are you? Come to me, please.
I'm in the back. Are you I can't
hurt?
move.
So I go to check out the back.
Yeah. And all the lights are off. As you sort of creak the door open to the jail area, you hear this like whimpering. Your light sort of flashes over the metal bars of the holding cell. And you see two hands sort of covered in blood just sort of wrap around the silver bars inside one of the jails. And you hear her whimpering.
I shine my light at her. Do I see her face?
It's like kind of around the corner. You have to walk in. Allison, you don't see anything with a 6. And you see the officer head to the back. The sheriff.
Why
Okay, cool.
are you in the cell?
What do you do, Allison?
I'm standing on the front porch of this raised, like, what did you call it? Like a cubicle?
Yeah.
With my pistol and a shotgun. I'm just waiting.
Sylvester's like, come on, get in here. This is not great. And he pulls you back in. And like he finds a dark corner of the office, darker than everything else, away from the firelight of the cars on the street. And he's like, Allison, if you want to stay alive, you got to be like a hunter. Stay low, stay quiet. Don't stand out on the porch.
I get behind some furniture and I keep an eye on the door. Maybe if there's like a window nearby where I can like keep lookout.
Yeah, and he like nods and he like goes to the other corner and does the same.
Okay.
You enter, Sheriff, the dark, lonely.
My hand's shaking on the flashlight, and I have the shotgun in the other hand, which is awkward. And I walk in. Daisy, why are you in the holding cell? I go around to look.
And she like lunges for you, like paws at your sweater, and you see her tear-filled eyes. She's like, they came in here. I locked myself in. She's like holding the key. She's like, they couldn't get through the bars. They tried to kill me. At first I didn't know. I thought they were looking for help.
You're covered in blood. Whose blood is that? Are you bleeding?
It's Marcus's. You know Marcus to be her like longtime boyfriend, but you look over her, you don't see anything, and she like paws the key to the lock and opens it and swings open the door. They couldn't get through. I had the only set. They got angry, but have you seen them yet? Their faces. What the fuck are they?
And I go around to where we have like first aid supplies, and I hand her a towel. I say,
yeah,
clean
it's
yourself
all
up.
gone. Everything's been taken and
You
destroyed.
just looted everything.
Yeah, she's like, they took everything, Sheriff.
I don't know what's going on, Adams. There's a virus or something. Owen turned. We need to save as many people as we can. Allison's out there. Come on with us.
And she like shakes her head. She's like, I'm not going back out there. I can't.
Then lock yourself back in there if you're not going to help you. We need you.
Give me an empathy with a negative.
Yikes. Come on, Sheriff.
One positive roll.
I don't care. This is like
that's okay.
Is what we're supposed to do.
Sure.
I'm
so
lean into this.
One positive,
one negative.
Negative. Very empathetic.
I won my positive, and I think I lost my negative.
Yeah. So she's like offended. Because, like, she literally just told you her, like, boyfriend died. And you're like, suck it up. Suck it up, girl.
We can mourn it after Owen's dead. He was like a son to me.
Yeah, so she does what you're saying, but she doesn't. She's not. Let me put it in a mechanical sense for you, because I think that might make you understand this girl right now. She's going to do what you say, but she is not her best. She's not going to do her best right now. She's not going to be everything you want to be in what she can be, what she can be, because
it's kind of like the feeling is like I get that she's going to be in shock, and that's why I'm telling her directly what to do. Either you come now or you stay in there. For
sure, for sure. It's like she's like a draft. You've drafted her. Done. She'll do what you say. You know what I mean? Okay. Versus like motivating a young man to like fight for his country type difference. And I am not saying this in any like punishing way. I'm only trying to explain in a mechanical sense what a negative on top of succeeding means. You know what I mean?
Oh, it makes sense. Totally makes sense.
Yeah. So she's like, okay, fine. Fucker. And no, she's not even that bitchy.
She's gonna bite you.
Am I right in assuming we're not gonna have riot gear in an Alaskan?
Most importantly, everything has been looted. So there was nothing. And she follows you back out. Meanwhile, Sylvester and Allison, you've been watching the door, and before they even come back out, you see this figure walk by. It just walks the street. It's not wearing shoes. It's wearing a long sort of blue parka. Its collar is up. It's got long, dark, greasy-looking hair, and it walks, blood dripping from its fingers, sort of unimpeded, just down the street, as if it doesn't have a care in the world.
I'm not going to draw any attention to us right now. I want to wait until Sheriff and Daisy are back with us before we discuss our next move, so I'm just going to watch this figure.
Yeah, and they exit. And
I'm trying to gain any information that I can from them. This is not someone who I recognize from the town, correct?
No, it is not. Great point. This is someone you do not recognize at all.
Okay, so I'm putting 2 and 2 together with the campsite and what Syl told me.
Yeah. So you are all reconvened out front. Now, this is sort of an open concept station now, meaning the front has been destroyed. So as much as you and Sylvester are sort of hidden because you're sort of crouched in the back, coming out and having a conversation in the open is not going to...
You mean like the front wall of the office is gone?
No, but it's like a glass. Like you're a sheriff's office, right? So there's like glass
I was
windows.
imagining because it's like a portable that it's much more like a storage
I
container with a
know,
door on
but
it.
unfortunately, based on the comic book that I was looking at, I don't think
Because that's
it is.
bad for insulating, you know?
I know.
Oh,
It's going to cost
doesn't
a
matter how many
fortune to
panes
heat.
you have.
Pretty sure it's not. Maybe it isn't. We'll say, I know the front door is smashed for sure. Regardless, you are not completely blind to the street. We'll put it that way.
Sure. So when the sheriff and Daisy emerge, I'm going to motion them to get down. Get down.
I immediately duck to try to get cover.
And Daisy does too. She's like, but you can tell she's just wrecked. And they crawl over to you. And Sylvester joins you as well, but he keeps his eye trained on the door.
Any idea what the fuck we're dealing with here?
I can tell you, I emptied almost an entire magazine into the chest of one of them up near Jenkins, and he just kept coming towards me. So aim for the head if we have to. We got to get out there. There are people out there there's still survivors out there. We got to defend them. We can't
but
just
it's
hunker in here.
We're not going to do any good if we don't know what's going on. We just run outside and become food.
Here's what
Okay,
I'm
we need a
thinking.
strategy.
Well, where do we go from here? Okay, if we got to get the power back on, right? If we can get maybe the lights back on, at least we can see what's going on. It's too dark out there.
Yeah, that's right. All this happened when all the lights went out.
We
Okay.
need to get to the generator. That's our first step. We get to the generator,
The
get
oil
the lights
station.
back on, and then the phones will run, and we can make announcement. I can use the radio tower to signal.
Yeah, it's tricky because we want to get a message out to everybody, but we don't want to attract any attention to ourselves. Right.
I think we get the message out. You know, I don't know. We need to take them out. That's the other thing. It's like we need to get people armed and fighting. We can't just have them hide because obviously, look at this place. They just tore through it.
Well, we don't have anything to give people.
Allison, do you have any ideas?
Folks have their own weapons. People around here, hunters, trappers. That's as much as we can do for them. They got to rely on themselves.
We take care of ourselves.
That's right. However, we need to give them a fighting chance. And light is a great way to do that. And also telling people stay indoors.
So let's get to the generators first.
Do you know anything about these creatures? Did you learn anything else?
Owen was bitten. He attacked him with his teeth. His teeth looked like shark's teeth. They're all black and jagged. And like I said, I emptied, I don't know how many shots into this chest, and he just kept coming towards me. This was
Did you read any kind of journal or any sort of exposition?
I told you about that. I told
Do you want me?
Do
you want me to refresh the journal?
No, I can tell. I know what the journal said. I thought I read a journal. He said it was a virus. He said that it can be transmitted by a scratch, by the blood, by a whole bunch of things. Like I think it's more than just a bite. Although
Maybe
that's how Owen
senses are messed with in the cold or something.
in the cold. Yeah, absolutely. It's slowed in the cold for sure. There's that too. Remember when I said it on the radio earlier?
How about I just read it out?
Sure.
You're right. You're summarizing, but Joe's right too. There's specific things in here that you guys could use to your advantage. So it says the head is the only way I've seen it work, lopping it clean off. Beyond that,
I forgot that.
That's why. Beyond that, I've seen a grenade go off on one of their bodies and it walked away like nothing but a tickle. Their strength, their speed. They can see better, smell more, hear everything, but less in the cold. It's tougher on them, I think. That's most of it, besides the virus stuff. It's like a virus, a bite, sure, a scratch, though, or just touching their blood will do it.
So we look at
and we
Daisy.
look over at Daisy.
Covered in blood.
Do you read this out?
Yeah. Let's say I had it with me.
And she like does this like weird little hands up thing, and she's like, I
How about
promise
you
this
get
is no, she,
back
just
in the
chill. She's like, this wasn't blood from them. She says like solemnly. You also know, and I'm just giving you this to you because it's easier, Owen turned in like seconds.
Yeah.
There's no time delay on this thing. LOL, Southern
right.
Joe. That's good. Any exposition?
I thought we had gone over it. I thought she knew everything.
That makes a lot of sense, okay?
The other thing I want to say, because it's something you know is the town, is that this town runs on a main generator grid. This is a big enough town to not need individual generators. Yes, some smaller places on the outskirts absolutely are off the grid, i.e. Jenkins' place. However, it's not unheard of, but more rare that someone would have a self-generator around here. The police station might have one. The hospital might have one, but most houses wouldn't. So the idea of the lights flicking out, you would know, means that the main power generator station has been sabotaged.
Mm-hmm.
Right, so that's where we'd want to go.
Just to give you a bit of context.
Somebody brought up the Darla, the name when I was reading out. Did anyone recognize that name at all when I bring it up?
No, not even Allison. This is something that Jenkins is an older guy. He's been here for many years, but you don't recognize the name.
We know that these things are smart. It all makes sense now with the snowmobile, sabotage, and they don't want anyone escaping the town, right? Whatever those creatures are, and I saw them, dozens of them in the woods.
And the dogs.
Yes, and the dogs.
Armando, he called in. He spoke to me directly because he knew you guys were doing something, but he went to go check on the dogs, and all the dogs were killed.
All right.
The sled dogs.
So we've got our trucks. We've got our guns.
The snowmobiles are down.
For how long do we have the trucks? Sylvester says. We left them out there.
Oh,
Looks towards the front door.
But we didn't hear any sounds of truck murder, did we?
Doesn't take much to murder a truck.
We've got horseshoes. We've got our wits, right? Hey, listen up, man. Listen up. I'm still being quiet. We're Alaskans, or at least I am. I know
Sarah Palin is our...
She's my sister. We know this town. We know these people. We're strong. We can handle the cold. We're brave. Let's go and fix the generator. And then we'll take it from there, I guess.
Hold on, Sylvester says.
Rant.
He's like, there's not going to be very much time once you get out there and start up that car. Let me buy you a little time. And he like runs. He runs to the front door. And as he like steps over the glass, you wait a moment and you hear the sputtering of his truck. Immediately you hear this sort of same sound that Owen made up at Jenkins' place, this calling out into the sky. And you see figures run past. You see his truck sort of back up and something climb on the back of it, and he speeds off down the road.
As he's doing that, though, I think we're all moving into our positions,
Absolutely.
Right?
Yeah. I mean, I hope.
Right.
And Sheriff is driving, I'm sure.
Yeah, perfect.
His truck, and we got Daisy and I riding shotgun.
Yeah.
I turned the lights off on the truck, so not to bring more attention to ourselves.
Yeah, you can definitely do that.
Damn it, Sylvester! Damn it!
I try to keep us away from the fires and things, so like to try to keep ourselves as covert as possible.
Yeah, and again, as you're driving through the town, which you saw moments ago, is already in such a bigger state of disrepair, or a worse state of disrepair. It's redundant. It's worse. And as you look around, you see people's houses now just on fire. You see people on the street, just halos of blood around their heads before they were popped open like grapes. And you drive slowly through town. And a few moments go by and you hear that call. And from the side streets, you see movement.
Drive.
Okay. Yeah, I keep going. We're going straight to the generator station.
Yeah, and as you continue, you see two of these creatures sort of feeding out from alleys,
Oh, bring it
approaching on
on,
either side of the car.
Fucker, I got my gun out. I'm
Yeah?
gonna fucking pop one.
Daisy's in too. All right. Roll to attack as this thing is running up.
Okay. I'm a crack shot, so I'm gonna give myself an extra positive.
Nice.
And I presume I have a negative dice as well because this is a scary situation.
Actually, because it can't attack you yet. It's just running
Cool.
up to the car. This is like a pop shot, right? So negative only applies when something can hurt you. Ooh.
Double win.
Nice. So you fire at one twice. Pop, pop. And you just, the bullets go right into its head and it sort of stumbles back onto the road. You wait a few moments and you see as you're driving, it gets back up. But it's very far away.
And it looks like it lost some IQ points. It's
Yes.
like
However, Daisy sort of leans out and she tries to fire and misses both times as she starts to panic. She's like, and she's trying to like do the window back up as this thing kind of comes up on her and latches onto the window.
I want to lean out over her and shoot the thing right in the face.
Cool.
Here I go. One success.
Yeah, you fire at it point blank. The bullet goes right into its head and falls back. But again, as the car is driving, you see it sit up and continue running again.
And my ears are ringing from the sound of these shots.
Oh,
in the
so is
car.
Daisy. She's like, I'm sorry, I tried. And she like reloads. And yeah, are you...
I look down at my shotgun. I go, well, that's not going to be any good.
Yeah.
And we're, I see one in the road, and I'm just going to try to hit it and see what happens.
Cool.
Just as like, we took one out with a shotgun. They got back up. Let's try this. So I just plow through it on the passenger side. No one's in my passenger side.
No.
Was in the back. So I just plow through it passenger side. I got one of those big racks on the front of the car.
Yeah.
Boom. Let's see what happens.
Give me a dexterity roll.
Mirror. Dexterous driving.
Do it.
Do it.
Do it.
4. So I failed just a little though.
Nice. So yeah, you hit it, but it sort of bumps off the car, and this one doesn't even follow. It just sort of looks at you, and it actually holds a hand up to the other two that are chasing.
Spooky.
And,
what do they do?
Very spooky.
And they sort of stop and turn around.
Do they have a chat, or do they just like...
No, they just listen to him. And actually, this one that you hit, you recognize. It's wearing a long blue coat with like a popped collar and like long greasy hair.
That's the guy.
And he sort of walks after you, but you turn the corner towards the power station.
I saw that guy in town. I think he's some kind of ringleader.
Yeah, it looked like the others were listening. I didn't think they could think for themselves.
I mean, they're smart enough that they're sabotaging this place.
They're damn smart. They killed the dogs. They knew how to cut us off. These aren't dumb creatures. You can't treat them like that.
So why'd they tell us to call it off? Did they think maybe we're just trying to escape?
I don't know. And as you sort of pull up the hill to the power station, your heart sinks. This is beyond all repair. It is destroyed. The towers have been torn down. The wires have been cut. Everything has been destroyed. And Daisy sort of says, that's probably why they didn't try to stop us. Fuck. And she sits back.
Okay. Okay, so we're not going to get the power back on. At least not all of it. There are generators. We have generators around. We can get some places going. You think it's a coincidence they came now? I mean, they're attacking. Is it just to, hide in the darkness? Why are they coming now? They're vulnerable to the cold. It doesn't make sense.
We gotta steal all their snowsuits and they're sleeping.
They're not wearing them. They're walking around like it's nothing. Are they wearing snow? What are they wearing?
Yeah, dude has a snowsuit.
They're just wearing normal shit.
Okay.
But wait, mate, that's not a bad idea. Is there anywhere where we can make them colder?
And I think about it. We can leave the safety of the town. Is there anywhere that comes to mind, Harlan?
I don't know. Is there Sheriff of the North or Allison of the North?
Absolutely, there is. There's a lake
Ice.
nearby,
There's a massive lake nearby.
and nothing colder than cold water, motherfuckers.
Literally, it's the iciest
It's
ice.
the iciest.
Ice,
I
baby.
mean, technically not, because it can't be lower than
Then
that much
zero.
lower than freezing.
No, it's salt
But it
water.
feels cold.
It's salty water, which is
It'll
colder
freeze
than-
quick.
And those the Arctic char in there bite you.
Yeah, they
Get
love
you- they just-
vampire meat.
That's
You
right.
want to lure them to what?
Yeah, okay. So there's some fishing shacks. All right, and they may
Yeah.
not have been pilfered from yet. Maybe there's still some equipment there, some ice saws and stuff that we can use to
Some
defend
augers.
ourselves. Yeah.
Yeah, maybe
What if
we
we
can
get them to
artist a bunch
follow
of
us
holes and
out
weaken
onto
the
the
ice.
And then explode
we'll
the
break it.
ice.
Yeah, let's do that. So I also know that there's some people that are doing the oil rig. The oil rig is the other thing, right? So we can maybe get some. Maybe they have some sort of explosive at the oil rig. Why would they have explosives? Probably not a good combination.
But we could bring explosives.
Yeah. What if we go to? There's like there's that miner who's in town who is the geological people who were doing some research to see if there's any gold up here. We can maybe go and see if they have any explosives, some TNT.
Yeah, I mean, Jenkins, did you see anything useful in his place?
I did, didn't I, Harlan?
No.
I saw. No,
You
I
didn't see
didn't.
shit.
What about all those weird artifacts I saw? Nothing to use there.
Where would people
Other rooms
be if this happened? Where would they run?
They would grab. It depends. Like if they're using they're thinking about the cold.
I don't know.
They would try to evacuate. I think.
And Daisy's just sort of like, she's like, I just wonder where my mom might have gone, or I'm trying
To
to
the
think.
airport, maybe?
Maybe.
Let's try.
Do you
it.
think the airport? We could get to the airport?
I don't know. You guys are the sheriff and Allison.
Yeah, but apparently we don't
Fire
have.
station. Colin's so good.
We
Let's do
don't
that.
have shit. We don't know shit. We can't do shit.
I don't know.
Let's freeze them. Let's go get a fire truck and we'll freeze them. How does a fire truck keep the water not frozen?
Well,
Question.
would a fire truck? I guess they would have a fire truck up here.
No, it's too small of a town.
Yeah. So you're thinking if we led them out to the ice and then broke the ice?
It could work, maybe.
That thing said
How
that
are we gonna get them all to follow us? I mean, they're not just gonna blindly follow us.
No, we have to have something to draw them to us. What do they want?
Blood.
Jesus. What were they doing? What did that thing do to Owen?
He bit Owen's neck. He ripped it out.
Jesus.
He wanted to turn him, maybe? I don't know. He wanted to eat him. But you
These
saw
things
the other
must
ones. Their
have
heads
some
were popped like grapes.
Well, everything has a weakness, and not just a physical one, but something they don't want. What do these things not want more than anything? I mean,
they turned the lights off. That was one.
Yeah, but
They wanted it dark, and they wanted us stuck here. Why did they want it dark?
why did they want us stuck
30
here?
days of darkness.
What are they worried about if one of us got away? Just one less meal?
Maybe they don't want to be discovered.
Hey, that's not a bad idea. What do you mean?
Well, maybe these creatures are surviving in the world. Here, bear with me. Maybe they're ancient, and the only way that they can survive year over year is by feeding on populations like ours. But they rely on the fact that they can go unnoticed for the rest of the year. They hide out somewhere.
So
And how come we haven't heard of them? Like, how come we haven't seen them up here before?
because no one's gotten away. Don't you get it, Sheriff? Because they succeed every time. They come into a town, they cut off its way to escape, and then they kill everybody inside.
Maybe it's good enough that we escape. We keep it from happening somewhere else.
Or, at the very least, having that information could be worthwhile to them to try to stop us. There's no tower, there's no power, there's no... But where's the nearest... Allison, you know this area. Where's the nearest town?
45-minute drive south.
That's it? You could have said 5. You could have said 2 hours. 45 minutes?
Yep.
Daisy sits
5.
back, she's tired. She's like, I don't fucking know. But we have to act quick. Something's coming up on us.
There's cicadas. Oh, that's so good.
Cicadas.
They come up every like 4 years out of the ground. All right.
Yeah.
All right. I think like I personally personally, the sheriff feels a loyalty to the town, and abandoning it doesn't feel right. We can't just leave.
But we
Yeah, I'm
only
not gonna
have like
abandon
10 more minutes in this game, so we're gonna have to figure something out.
Oh, Joe.
Then we take out the
Don't
leader.
break
We
the
take out the
veil.
one who's thinking. There's
Well,
one of them who's clearly controlling. What happens if we take him out?
Yeah, cut the head off the snake.
All
Maybe
right.
that's the head that they're talking about. Maybe that's the head we need to cut off. You shot one in the head. Nothing happened. What if we
Yeah,
take
he
his
said
head?
lopping off the head is the only thing. He didn't say their heads. He said the head. Maybe that's what we
the
gotta
head.
do.
And I go into the rubble, and I find a fire axe that was there. From
Sure.
Inside.
And I find a bigger fire axe.
Oh.
A battle of fire axe.
It's double-headed.
Double-headed.
Guys,
fire
you're not thinking about this. The minute you get there, one of the other ones are going to kill you. You're going to be dead. We need to lure him out somewhere. The ice. It's just down there. She looks at the front of the car, and there is like the start of the lake. You can see the lakefront and the frozen cabins. You had the right idea. You can't walk in there. You're going to be dead in a matter of seconds. They don't know you from Adam. But
Okay, so one of us goes with the car and honks the horn and gets them all to chase after us, and then leads them out to the ice. And, we'll
and
be there
Daisy,
ready.
who's like the only one still in the car, and you guys got out to get. She's like, all right, and she backs up the car, like leaving the two of you by the rubble of the power station. And she speeds down the hill honking.
Oh, no. My
And we
my
start
snowshoes were in there.
And the
Start
two of
hoofing it
you,
around,
begin down
Start
towards
running.
the lake. As you're running down the snow-covered hill, you see her sort of driving around town. You see the black dots of people, the figures of these creatures moving out towards. She's circling them and skinning, and you hear like the gunfire. And then as you reach the edge of the lake, you stand before the cold blue of it all. The snow-dusted top sort of stretches out as far as you can, and you can feel not just the coldness of the ice, but the coldness of the wind cutting through. There's no buildings or trees to stop it. This is the most frigid you've felt. And you begin onto the ice.
I turn to Wesley as we're walking out onto this ice, the sound of our footsteps sort of getting this weird reverberation from the cold water underneath. You got Paula out though, right? At least
Yeah.
Paula's safe.
Yeah, she left a couple days ago now.
And James and Will, they're safe too. They're somewhere warm.
So I guess even if you and I don't make it out of here, at least we know what we can think about before that happens.
Yeah.
And as the two of you begin wading onto the ice, the thick weight of it beneath your feet, you hear the car behind you. So you have an axe, Sheriff. And as you sort of look into one of the small fishing huts, you see one of the like chainsaws that you see that they cut the ice open with.
Yeah, chainsaw time. I'm going to chainsaw some vampires.
Cool.
Use an ice auger. That would be really gross.
Oh, do that. Well, that's not a head killer, but you could. It'd be cooler,
really
but less
do
useful.
it. Chainsaw, do it.
And as you see the car spinning down the hillside, she veers off. It flips, and you see Daisy sort of trapped underneath. The swarm of creatures surrounds her, pulls
So
her out, and
metal.
you hear her scream in the night as gunfire sounds. However, the distraction is worked, and while the number of them follow, you do see one in particular with the blue, long coat and the propped collar, his long, greasy black hair. He sort of turns to the others, but locks eyes with you, Sheriff, obviously aware of your position and the deputy, and he begins walking out towards the ice. You're standing at the edge of this ice. To the far left, you see the woods. To the right, you see the cliff that you came from and the power station beyond that. But to the top of the cliff, you see this tower. It's sort of a light tower for the airport, but the light has been off since the power went out. This sort of horseshoe bend allows the other creatures to sort of frame as this one walks out towards the two of you. Allison, you start your chainsaw. It echoes out across the lake like a crack of lightning. And this thing, its needle-like teeth, its blood-stained shirt, its black eyes stare the two of you down, waiting for you to take a move.
I look at Allison.
Allison takes a step forward.
And I grip the handle of the axe. I said, let's go down swinging. And I run towards to the head of them.
Nice.
This is my town, motherfucker!
Both of you give me dexterity rolls. I'm going to give you 1 for doing it, 1 negative, and then any other benefits you think that you can give me.
All right. So
I have a
benefits
chainsaw. Is that a benefit?
Yes, weapons are benefits, so 2 positives.
Cool.
And 1 negative.
Nope, that's it. I have bad low light vision, so I hope that doesn't apply here.
Well, here's what's up. I succeeded twice.
Nice, but you still got a negative?
I did.
Okay, so 2 successes. So you both oh, Chris, your 1 didn't. Oh, that's Allison's. Sorry. Okay, so Wesley, your thing is a 1. Your dexterity.
No, my dexterity is a 2.
So a 2. So you both succeed, but you both take a negative.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
So you run up towards this creature. Wesley, you take a swipe with the axe and he steps back. It cuts him across the chest, but misses his head. Allison, you swing up with the chainsaw. It again slices away a piece of his skin, but you miss his head as he narrowly dodges. Then he smiles and takes a swipe at you, Allison, and then at you, Sheriff. Everyone give me a dodge roll. Again, anything that you can advantage. So 1 positive and then 1 negative.
All right. So I failed the positive and I failed the negative.
Yep.
Oh no. He swipes at both of you and you feel his fingernails just across both of your chests. Just the words of the letter sort of ring through your mind, this supposed scientist claiming these things. And as you sort of take a step back, you both share a look towards each other, like in hopes of what it could feel like, but you feel okay. Do you want to attack again?
Yeah, but I get this crazy idea to run and grab him and pull him and plunge him into the water. So we're like near the hut.
Oh yeah, there's like
fishing.
Yeah.
So I kind of feel like my I feel weirdly good or weirdly different.
Yeah.
And I was like, the thought like a single scratch, right? So I'm thinking to myself, I don't have time. I'm running out of time. So I just run and grab him, and with all the strength I can muster, I just try to slide him towards, punching him and like trying to slide him and punch him, slide him and punch him and slide him.
I'm gonna try to help him.
Okay.
So I'm gonna help my sheriff. I'm gonna like grab the guy's one arm, just to try to make it easier for him to like wrangle.
Perfect. Give me a dexterity roll.
And just trying to get him towards that hole.
So you're going to give me 2 positives, 1 for trying, 1 for the aid that she is giving you, and 1 negative.
Do it, Chris.
What is wrong with me?
Oh, no. You go to run at him, and he sidesteps. You sort of skitter across the ice a little bit. And Allison, as you go to try to help, you reel back on the chainsaw, and you were trying to help grapple, so your turn is sort of forfeit, and you see him take a step towards you. He sort of looks back over his shoulder towards the sheriff and then smiles, the needle teeth towards you, and he leans back, opening his mouth to bite you. When a sound rings out from the tower up on the hill, the sound of Sylvester's rifle firing cracks across the ice, and you see the bullet rip through the man's face before you. He spills back totally distracted and turns. You see a little thumbs up in the darkness from Sylvester, who loads another shot, giving you both an opportunity to attack once again. Allison, the chainsaw is in your hand. Give me a roll.
I want to murder him with
Can I
it.
assist her?
Yes, you
Grab
can.
his legs and like start pulling him towards the chainsaw.
Yes.
Like
So
like
you're going to
sliding
get 1 for the action, 1 for the assist, and 1 for the weapon.
All right. And 1 negative.
I'm not going to give you any negative this time
Oh.
because he is, for the first time, stumbled. The idea is you're aiming for his head, and he
All
is.
right.
Oh,
I got 3 successes.
Allison, you watch as the sheriff grapples this man, this thing. He holds him against the ice, and with your chainsaw, you slowly bring it down over the back of his neck, sending blood flying up into the night as you sort of lean back, knowing, and the same with the sheriff who's like leaning back. The blood is spraying, sending black red arcs across the ice. You hear it sort of crack and snap as the warm, hot blood sends streaking colors across. And as you hear the dull thud of his head fall upon the snow-covered ice, the body falls limp in your hands, and you see all of the vampires standing at the edge of the lake. They all sort of turn to each other, confused, almost waiting for the two of you to say something.
And I turn to them with the chainsaw still idling in my hand, and I feel this like terrible scratch across my chest, oozing blood down out over my parka. And I scream into the night, "Go back to the shadows! This is our town! This is Barrow!" And I fall to my knees.
You rev the chainsaw. Sheriff, you see Allison fall to her knees next to you.
I know it's just a matter of time before we've turned completely. I know Buchanan. He has a radio in his truck as well. I
Yeah.
try to dial it in, and I go, "Shh. You got another round in there, Buchanan?
I have enough.
Can you make sure it's not so painful for me?" And I grab my axe and I run towards the others.
And yeah, as we see these figures, the swinging of the axe, the falling on the ice, the blood-drenched water, you just hear the circling fire of Sylvester's rifle out into the night. And we're going to end there. Well done, guys.
We did it the correct way, and
Sort of. I mean, yeah, there's no wrong way. I mean, there's no correct. I think, if anything, there's no correct way
That's
to
fair.
do this. This is the end of the world. This is like, but
we tried.
very, very good option. I was hoping you were gonna like chainsaw the ice around you guys at the end
that's pretty
to like
good.
I was
fall into
thinking
the
that.
ice.
That's pretty good.
Well,
Figure it
to
out.
no, to kill, to like after,
sacrifice herself.
yeah, to sacrifice yourself. I was like, that would have been cool to be like, and then just the two of you fall on the ice, like to lay forevermore. Ladies and gentlemen, thank you so much for hanging out with us tonight. Thank you, Chris. Thank you, Joe, my talented co-host. This was amazing. Once again, please consider donating to Extra Life. It is a really important cause and one that we firmly believe in, and we're excited for what November 7th will bring us. That is it from us. Hope you have a wonderful night. We'll see you next week. And as my good friend Chris always likes to say,
We'll see you around the table.
we'll see you around the table, guys. Good night.